Do, 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 do. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Can get W's in the chat if y'all can hear me. Oh, my computer's giving me notifications, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Excellent, excellent. All right, y'all, welcome to I guess we call this No Cautions Given Revival Episode 2. I don't have an exact name for this. We'll figure that out eventually. So, I was going to go live yesterday. I was going to stream some Vegas, talk about NASCAR 25, but I'm going to be real with y'all. I like to keep it real. Just wasn't feeling myself yesterday. Just head, mental stuff. So, decided to take yesterday off. And then, I was contemplating, do I want to save it for today? Do I want to save it for tomorrow? And then, I don't know why, but I know NASCAR 25 is, it's out. Like, the early releases are out, even though I'm not a console gamer. I'm a PC gamer. I rarely have time to game nowadays. But if I were to game, I'd be a PC gamer. And I'd still have to wait about a month. By the time the season's over, NASCAR 25 comes out. So it's basically obsolete. I'm starting to rant. Anyway, that's not the whole point of the stream. All right. The point of this is I was looking at the driver ratings, just glancing through them. And I was talking with a few friends of mine. I'm thinking, there's one thing that I feel like NASCAR and iRacing have gotten right, and that is having terrible ratings for their drivers. Because we know if you're a Madden guy, if you're an NBA guy, if you're like a hockey guy, anything like that, any sport that has like sports game that has a rating system, 9 times out of 10, most of the ratings are awful. And while I don't think NASCAR's is as bad as, let's say, Madden, it's still not necessarily great. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to react to every driver rating. And of course, shout out dailydownforce.com. Of course, we have the article over there. So we are going to react here to every NASCAR driver's ratings on NASCAR 2025. Because, oh boy, I already took a look at some of these, and their ratings, all right. I wouldn't call them accurate, but they're ratings. And by the way, when I refer to ratings, I'm not going to go all deep into their super speedways or defending, good tracks, bad tracks. I'm not going to go into all of those. I'm just going to focus on their overall ratings. Because, I'll be honest, if I went through every little detail, could I? Yes. Do I want to? Not really. But before we get started, let's take a look at the chat here. What's up, NCS Severe Crash Prediction Center? Hey, yo, what's up, my man? X-X, Cletus's rating is below the cut line. Wait, Brad Smith's is better than Cletus? We'll get to that when we get to the ARCA section. Now, I'm not too adverse in the ARCA, just because ARCA is honestly a shit show. You could probably put everyone at a rating of 40, and it would make sense. But yeah, that's interesting. Well, let's get started here. Let's just get started and dive right in. I actually want to take a look and read this real quick. These, I guess we could call these the prerequisites. Player ratings are a key element for almost any other sports game, and NASCAR games are no stranger to this concept. This year, with the release of iRacing's NASCAR 25 console game, iRacing is making driver ratings a key element of the game. These ratings are at a 1 to 100 scale. Okay, can we talk about one thing? Can we talk about one thing first? The whole appeal of ratings is that there is no 100. Like, the 99 club is a big deal when it comes to Madden. Like, they do, like, a big thing. Like, they give players, like, gold. They give them awards. Like, it's the 99 club for a reason. You're not supposed to have a 100 rating, because that's basically saying you're perfect. And, well, obviously this gives it away. William Byron has a 100 rating, which we'll get to that in a moment. You're not supposed to have a 100 rating for anybody. If that was the case, Tom Brady should have had a 100 rating his entire career. Justin Jefferson should have a 100 rating right now. So that's my number one critique already. Like, we haven't even gotten to the drivers yet. We haven't even gotten to who is rated where. But the fact that we have 100 on the scale is just, what are we doing? You're not supposed to have a 100 scale. It's supposed to be 1 to 99. That's kind of the appeal. As iRacing unveils the rating of each driver prior to the launch, this article will be updated with their overall rating for any and all information, including timelines, promotional videos, and all game info. Be sure to check out our in-depth article on NASCAR 25 below. Y'all can see it right here, so you guys can check it out as well. And then, of course, if you guys want to know when it was last updated, October 9th, 2025. Crash Prediction Center. The reason why 1 to 99 is because there really is no such thing as, if you're saying you're 100 rating, you're saying you're perfect. There is no blemish to your game. 99 is kind of like, it's like that no one is perfect, and just saying that you're 99, I don't know why, it hits more. Maybe it's just because it's a sports thing, but that's the number one thing, is that when you're a 99, there is no such thing as 100. No player, or in this case, no driver is perfect. So that is why it goes from 1 to 99, or at least it's supposed to go from 1 to 99. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go into here. Coming up first, our first one, a 100 overall. You guys already know my issues with that. William Byron at 100 overall. Let's take a look here at, you guys are just going to see everything I got here. You guys now know where I go to school at, Florida FIU. Congratulations. Let's go to NASCAR real quick here. I just want to quickly show you guys something. You also see my fan reward points. Let's take a look at William Byron's stats this season. William Byron this season, I know the points are finicky because, cutoff, reset. 2 wins. 15 top 10s, 10 top 5s, 2 poles, 3 DNFs, 915 laps led, an average start of 10.5, an average finish of 13.7. So let me get this straight. This is a 100. 2 wins. I think Elliott has as many wins. He's not a 100. Larson has more. Denny has more. Shane Van Gisbergen has more. Christopher Bell has more. I already got 5 names that I've named. All have more wins than Byron. 15 top 10s. I think a few drivers have more. Actually, what am I doing? Let's go here to driver. We can see. All right. So Byron, let's see categories he leads. He doesn't lead in wins. He doesn't lead in top 5s. He doesn't lead in top 10s. He doesn't lead in fewest DNFs. He doesn't lead in most laps led. And he doesn't lead in playoff points. 79. Raja's in the building. Raja's in the building, everyone. Wait, you're 79? We'll get to the trucks in a minute. Hold on. I'm going to skim through this. Huh. So we got Brandon Jones. Parker. I like Parker, but Parker. Caden Honey. Okay. Oh, this is really fun. This is going to be really, really fun. Okay. Raja, if you're still watching, I'm sorry. I am so sorry because that is a choice. Put you at a 79 behind guys like Caden Honeycutt, Giro Ruggiero, Williams. Let's go back to Cup. Let's go back to Cup. Cup pisses me off less than what I'm looking at right now. But yeah, you guys get my point with the yeah, you guys get my point here with the Byron one. I like Byron. Byron was my first ever interview for a NASCAR driver. I was able to do it for an article I did for the Downforce, and as well as my senior project when I graduated a year ago. So Byron was actually my first ever driver interview that I did that because, fun fact, you can actually find the article on Daily Downforce when I was just a writer over there. I was talking about drivers and like how they use iRacing and sim racing. Actually, I interviewed Raja as well. Raja, you were my second interview. But and by the way, Raja, tell Vince I said what's up. But yeah, like hold on. Raja, why are you a Raja? Why are you a Okay, I'm going to be honest. I thought Raja, if you're still watching this, I thought they would have given you the like the Byron treatment, because, you know, it's like, you're an iRacing guy, Byron's an iRacing guy, so, you know, maybe give you, you know, some extra points. You know, I'm not saying you don't deserve extra points, because clearly you do. You deserve way more than a 79. Like, I mean, honestly, Raja should probably be, like, Raja, you have to be at the least high 80s, definitely somewhere in the 90s. Definitely somewhere in the 90s here. The fact that you're 79? Oh my. Moving on. We'll get back to trucks in a second. So that way I can just critique all of that. All right, 99s overall. Denny at a 99. Larson at a 99. These make sense. Again, you're supposed to be at a 99. You're not supposed to be at 100. So Byron, if you were to ask me where I put him, I probably put Byron like at where Bell is, like a 97. Probably maybe closer to 96 with Chase, but somewhere around here, 97 to a 96. Blaney at a 98, I think that's fair. Bell at a 97, maybe I put him one more. Like I talked about it with my friends earlier in the day. I'd probably swap Elliott and Bell just because I think Elliott is a little more consistent. Bell, he could be kind of hit or miss. On top of that, while Bell does win more than Elliott, I like Elliott's consistency a little more than Bell's ability to win, because it's not like Bell is winning 5-6 more races than Elliott a year. He's winning just like 1 or 2. I'm not scoffing that at all. Of course, winning one race for anybody is a huge deal. But, you know, I would personally swap Elliott and Bell. But that's just me personally. But it's not egregious. Bell at a 97, Elliott at a 96. I'm okay with that. Reddick at a 92. Yeah, I think that's fair. Especially how he's been running this year. Probably, if we were going off last year, he'd probably be like a 96 or a 95. But again, with how he's been running this year, just got eliminated in the round of 12. No wins on the year. 92 seems fair. Briscoe at a 92 is interesting. I know he's been really good this year. Obviously, he's got 2 wins on the year. We're in the round of 8. Looks like he's a Dark Horse Championship 4 contender, but 92 for Briscoe still feels pretty high. Like, I would probably put Briscoe still like high 80s, me personally. I honestly don't think there's that many 90 overall drivers. Like, Bubba, I don't think he's a 90. I'd probably put him like at an 88, maybe an 87. I know he won at the Brickyard, but, you know, still hasn't made it to the round of 8. I feel like if you're going to be a 90 overall, you have to at least make the round of 8. Obviously, Briscoe has done that. I just don't think it just doesn't feel right for Briscoe to be in a 90. That's me personally. Yeah, Briscoe's got to be in qualifying. I'll give that. He's probably getting carried by his qualifying. That I would give him that. I would give Briscoe a 99 for qualifying. Logano, you see, this is why this format is so finicky, because Logano should not even be a 90, but he's the defending champ. So how do you not put the defending champ in the 90 at least? Matter of fact, the fact that your defending champ is all the way down here, not even in a high 90, he's as low of a 90 as you could get. NASCAR, I know you're starting to lean towards a full season format. This should tell you. Right here. Right there. But yeah, I mean, Briscoe I probably put at a high 89. Bubba I put a high 89. The fact that he's the defending champ, I feel like you have to put Logano at a 90. So, take out Briscoe. Take out Bubba. Logano was fine. Move Byron down to like a 97. And overall, I don't hate these ratings. I think Denny is fine. Larson obviously is fine. Blaney's fine. Minor nitpick would be, again, swapping Bell and Chase. Reddick is fine. Briscoe drop. Logano was fine. Drop Bubba. And then, like, I think we're good in terms of the 90s. The 90s, they're not egregious. So, to start off, we're pretty solid. Let's move on to the 80s and 89s. Chris Buescher had an 89. I don't hate it. Like, look, you see, this is what we got here. I mean, Buescher, you got an, and this is what I'm asking. Like, how much are we weighing in past success and this year's success? Because we're going off this year's success. Brad Keselowski has no business being this high. He has no business being an 88. Like, Bowman in 87, I think, is good. Chastain is maybe the only one I would consider making an 90, and like barely consider a 90. 87 feels a little low for Chastain. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. Buescher at an 89. I mean, he hasn't made the playoffs in the last 2 years. I know format, winning or in, top 10. I understand that. The fact of the matter is, he didn't make it. The stat sheets will show he did not make it. The stat sheets show he's basically locked to be 17th of points for back-to-back years. I don't know if you could put someone like that in an 89. That's just me personally. I'd probably knock him down like an 87 to an 86. 89, again, this would be more just I would knock Bubba and Briscoe down, and then I'd probably be a little more comfortable. But 89 for Buescher, I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it either. Keselowski had an 88. I don't know why he's that high. Again, this is what I'm asking. How much are we factoring in past success to this year's success? Because I get it. He's a champion. He won a race last year, made the playoffs last year, but didn't make the playoffs this year. Has yet to win a race this year. Has only won one race since 2022. He's only won one race in the next gen era. I can't say a driver's only one race in the last 4 seasons is a high 80. I know. Brad has been better in the second half of the season. Brad is a former champ. I can't put Brad in an 88 right now. Me personally. I'd probably put Brad like maybe an 84 or an 85 at the highest. 88, no. Bowman 87, I think is fair. Bowman at 87 feels about right. We already talked about Chastain. Ty Gibbs at an 86. Again, like, why? Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, we have Ty ahead. He's only one behind Bowman, who's an 8-time Cup winner. I know Kyle Busch hasn't been good the past 2 years, but I would still put Kyle Busch ahead of Ty Gibbs personally. I would put, right now, Ryan Preece ahead of Ty Gibbs. Maybe not Hosar. I'd put Cindric ahead of Ty Gibbs. Cindric's actually he's made the round of 12, and he's won races. Ty Gibbs has never won a race. So why is Ty Gibbs so high? Like, I'd probably put Ty like in an 83 or an 82. Real talk. I'd put him low 80s. He's done nothing to deserving to be in the mid or even high 80s, me personally. Grandpa, I'm being roasted for my rating. Oh. Why do I have a feeling that would be something Ty would talk about to Joe? Grandpa, I'm not in the 90s club. I could actually see that. I actually could see that. I would think someone only a champion because of 5 overtimes of Bowman taking flight would be enough to change the playoff format. You'd think. You would think that. And I think that's finally the case. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But, yeah, Ty Gibbs in an 86. Well, he likes to wreck people, so, I mean, I guess it's fitting that he's an 86 because of Chick Hicks. Although maybe Hocevar should be an 86 too in that case. Preece at an 84. Again, 1 year exceeding expectations. Again, how much are we weighing in past experience to this year? I don't hate it. I'd probably put him like maybe an 83 or an 82, but I'm nitpicking at that point. 84, I think is fine. Hocevar in an 84. I'll be honest. I'd probably still put Hocevar in an 80. He's got speed. That's about it. His racecraft, not the greatest. Obviously, he puts people on the wall, spins them out right, left and right, whether intentional or not. Everyone in the garage doesn't like him for a reason. And I love Hocevar. I love Carson Hocevar. Carson, if for some reason you're watching this, do not change. We need your time. I love Carson Hocevar. I do not want him to change. But I want to put him at an 84 because besides the raw speed, Hocevar is a lot lacking in just the rest of his driving ability. Again, love Hocevar. I think he's one of the fastest guys in the garage. 84 feels too high. I would put 84 for Kyle Busch, I think is fair. Cindric at an 83. Cindric, again, he's a weird driver. He's made back-to-back playoff appearances, 3 in total. Obviously, he won at Talladega, but he just got bounced in the round of 12 in pretty much embarrassing fashion. I would probably put Cindric at an 85, me personally, because, I mean, just the fact that if you can consistently make the playoffs and consistently win a race, that should account for something. So I would personally put Cindric up a few points, but 83, I don't hate it. I don't love it. And then Allmendinger at an 80, interesting, to say the least. I mean, I guess. I could see this rating for Xfinity, but not Cup if you're talking about Ty Gibbs for Xfinity. Yeah. Or if you're talking about, if you're talking about like Ty Gibbs or Hocevar, absolutely. Absolutely. Hocevar has managed to put on some pretty darn good drives. Agreed. He has. But they're too far in between. An open air. Exactly. Hocevar will rock you like a hurricane. I know you. I used to fun fact. I used to know how to play that song on guitar, and that solo is that solo is a pain to play. Just the whole song as a whole is a pain to play, especially because there's different tunings. Like there's the drop D tuning. If any of my guitar people are watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sorry, but there's the drop D tuning, and then I think there's the standard tuning, or like a half step down tuning. So I don't like when songs have multiple different tunes. It's like just stick to one and keep it. Don't have multiple different tunes for a song. It annoys me. And when Scorpion did that for Rock You Like the Hurricane, it pissed me off. I prefer like the standard version you just get on Spotify. That's my personal favorite. But yeah, going a little bit off sidetrack. I'm good. Dash, I am very, very good. Because you see, Dash, here's the thing. I like having functioning fingers. I like having functioning hands. So if I play through the fire and flames, I will no longer have functioning hands and functioning fingers. So what we're not going to do is play through the fire and flames. The only time I will play through the fire and flames is on Rock Band 4. That is the only time you will catch me playing through the fire and flames. Because again, I will not have functioning hands at the end of it. Enough talking about guitar and goated songs. Let's move on to the 70s. Now, I'm gonna be honest, as we get into like the 70s and the 60s, it's kind of weird. Exactly. KSU arthritis, exactly. All right, 70 to 79s. As we get further down, these are kind of just no disrespect, but just fine. Josh Berry to 78. Okay. Eric Jones at a 77. You see, I would put Eric Jones in the 80s. He is arguably the most underrated driver in Cup. After he left JGR, he's been up and down with Legacy Motor Club. I mean, guys, I don't think you understand. We've seen what Legacy has been really for the past few years. Of course, they've been getting better this year now that they had a year under their belt with Toyota. But that 2022 season that he had, winning a race, 13 top 10s, in the mix for the playoffs, in a, at the time, petty GMS car, outstanding. Like, me personally, I would put Eric Jones, I'd swap Eric Jones and Allmendinger. Give Eric Jones the 80 and give Allmendinger the 77. We're good. We're good on that front. McDowell at 77, I'd probably bump him up a little bit higher, but that's just me personally. Nemechek at a 76, I would drop him lower because he's really done. Nemechek is weird. He's got a lot of flashy moments and then a lot of just duds. He's either going to run top 10, top 5, or he's going to wreck. There is no in between. I would personally put Nemechek down here, like in the low, like maybe like 74, 73. That's just me personally. Dylan at a 76, I'd put him somewhere in the high 70s. Again, kind of like Austin Cindric. The fact that you can always find a way to win a race. The fact that you can always find a way to win a race and make the playoffs should count for something. So I would put Austin Dillon in the high 70s, not in the 80s. Suarez at a 76, I think is fair. Zane Smith at a 75, maybe a little too high, but at this point, we're nitpicking, honestly. And then here's the enigma of the Cup Series, Shane Van Gisbergen. Am I crazy for saying that this feels accurate? Seriously. Eric Jones to the 80s club, exactly. But listen to this. Shane, a god at road courses. No one is denying that. Everywhere else, I know he got that top 10 at Kansas. I know he led laps at Daytona, but he's a nobody at ovals. Let's be honest here. Let's just be frank. So you have a god, essentially, on road courses and a mere mortal at ovals. You put that together. Yeah. 72, I think, is fair. Greg's at a 71. Gil at a 71. Interesting. 60s, Stenhouse should be in the 70s. I don't know why he's this low. He's a multiple-time Cup winner. He should definitely be ahead of Zane Smith, Haley, SVG, Gregson, and Gilliland. Again, guys, let's think about this. Stenhouse, 4-time Cup winner, is behind Gilliland, Gregson, Zane Smith, Nemechek. All 4 of them have never won a Cup race. Why is Stenhouse behind them? That's what I'm talking. Are we going off this year's success? Because if we're going off this year's success, they've all been the same. They've all been flirting around like 18th to 25th in points all year long. So why is Stenhouse this low? At least Stenhouse has won within the last year. He won late last year. I don't get it. Custer at a 67 is fair. Ty Dillon at a 66 is fair. And then we're just getting into part-timers at this point. Truex at a 63, fine. Herb should be down in the 40s. Zillage at a 63 is fair. LaJoy should be down in the 50s, but he's at low 60s, so fair enough. Cody Ware at a 55. Herb should be somewhere here. Jimmy Johnson at a 54 behind Cody Ware is hilarious. Allgaier at a 52, and then we're just getting into 52 for Allgaier, 50 for Yaley, and a 50 for BJ McLeod. And then I didn't even know they had 40s. And then all of this is just, it's just there. And the Daytona 500 winner, exactly. He's getting better at ovals for sure. He was doing good at Loudon before the wreck. I'm admitting, he's getting better. He'll never get to the level of Hamlin or even Larson, let alone the level of even a Busch or Chastain at ovals, don't get me wrong, but he is getting better. I can't deny that. They forgot BJ McLeod's profile. Oh, that is crazy. Logano was the best short track driver in NASCAR, and he is in the 80s like bruh. No, he's not. Right. What do you mean? Overall. Plus, he should be higher than 90. Or unless you're talking about like Brian, are you talking about like 80s in terms of his road course prowess? Because I don't know about that. I'm not going to go through that. I already mentioned before, but are you talking about the oval? Okay, all right. Yeah, that's... Oh, the ratings are doing their job. They're making absolutely no sense, and they're getting us talking. You see, NASCAR. If you want to... NASCAR, you know what if you want to go for the good publicity, or all publicity is good publicity route, driver ratings is how you do it. Something that doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. Not your championship format that affects your sports and your athlete's legacy. All publicity is not good publicity when it comes to your format. All publicity is good publicity when it comes to driver ratings. Speaking of driver ratings, Connor Zillage is at a 100. Again, you guys know my opinion. I don't think any athlete should be at a 100, but you win 10 races as a rookie, I guess I can make that slide. Though, I will say, I am happy NASCAR 25 isn't doing the thing that Madden does, which is so stupid, which is giving rookies and second years no credit. Like, you'll have Justin Jefferson break rookie records as a wide receiver. Oh, yeah, he's in 84. You'll have Jamar Chase do the same thing. Yeah, he's in 84. Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he's in 82. What? At least NASCAR 25. I'll give credit. I give credit where credit is due. They're not doing that here with NASCAR 25. If you perform, rookie or veteran, you're getting your dues. So I applaud NASCAR 25 for that. Allgaier to 95 is fair. Almirola to 97. It feels weird to put a part-timer that high, but considering Almirola is always winning races as a part-timer, is always in the mix, I'm okay with that. Zilic kind of earned that 100 with broken bones too. That's true. You know what? I'll let it slide. Fun fact. So I announced for this, sometimes I announce for this local racing series down here in Miami called FARA USA. And fun fact, Connor Zilic actually used to race in that series. So I know, because when I was announcing, talking with some of the team owners, they mentioned, oh yeah, Connor, we had this one kid race for us in our school. He's doing pretty good I think he's in NASCAR right now. I'm like, oh yeah, what's his name? I think it's Connor Zilic. Huh? So, fun fact, I announced for one of the startup series that Connor Zilic used to drive in. We like what we see, Steve, after multiple teams manipulating the finish. Although hey, Dash, just hold out hope. It looks looks like there's a good chance we're gonna get what we want. Full season format. Look, just hold out hope. Hold out hope. Creed and Hill the same rating. Wait, yep. Wow. Okay. Jesse Love at a 94 feels too high. Maybe I put him down like a 92. Ross Chastain, that's interesting. I was wondering how they were going to do that. How they were going to do, cup guys going down or guys a different series, how they're going to do that. So it is, I will say it is. Allgaier, Almirola, you guys already know, drops Zilic to a 99. You know what? I'll keep Love at a 94 because he is fairly consistent. Chastain at a 93 feels fine. He's a part-timer. Sam Mayer, I'd probably put to a 95 because he's wins and he's also now consistent since he's been with Haas Factory Team. I put Austin Hill a little bit higher because he does win multiple races a year. Yes, he got bounced in the round of 12, but that's because he got suspended and because of the rule, not because of his performance. I put Hill like at a 95 or a 96, and then Sheldon Creed I'd probably put Sheldon Creed at a 90. Again, the fact that he's never won, I take a lot of points off for that. That's just me personally. Moving on to the 80s. Sammy Smith at an 89 feels fair. Quapple at an 88 feels fair. Taylor Gray feels fair. Brandon Jones. I put Brandon Jones in the 90s. Call me crazy, but I would put Brandon Jones in the 90s. I put him at a 90, but I put him in the 90s. This is a guy who wins. Granted, it's only with JGR, but again, if we're going off recency bias, this is a guy who wins multiple races a year. This is a guy who's always competing for the playoffs or making deep playoff runs. This is a guy who always gets the job done one way or another. So I will put Brandon Jones in the 90s personally. I think he's very low. Sieg at an 86 feels fair. Sanchez at an 85 feels fair. I know William Sawalich has done really well the past month or two, but 85 still feels very high for him. I would still drop him down to a low 80. Eckes at an 83 feels fair. Burton at an 83 feels fair. And then Suarez at an 83. Again, he's only run like a few races, and he did win Mexico, so he probably should be a little bit higher. SVG at a 79 is a choice. Again, this is what I'm talking about. It's like some of these guys are part-timers, so if you're a part-timer, what's up, Elite? As one of the only Brandon Jones fans, like, Elite, I got something for you. Hold on. Elite. Don't go anywhere. I need to show you something. Do not go anywhere. You're going to love this. So, 6 years ago, I made a bet with my friend, William Richard, a.k.a. NASCAR Opinion, where if Harvick got eliminated, this was the 2019 season, where if Kevin Harvick didn't get eliminated in the round of 12, I was betting he would. I don't know why I have my headphones on also. There's no audio. So we're going to move those over there because I'm about to put something else on. I'd have to buy a Brandon Jones hat. Well, obviously Harvick got out of the round of 12. He made the final four that year. So, I'm a man of my word. So, I bought a Brandon Jones hat. Yes, this is a JGR Menards Brandon Jones hat. And I'll tell you one thing. It's actually a very comfortable hat, all things considered. Like, I actually sometimes wear this hat just on the day because it's actually a very nice hat. I wish there was a different driver on here and not, well, even then, I mean, if you're not paying attention to the Toyota or the team, I could just say this is a Blaney hat or a Cindric hat. But, yeah, Brandon Jones hat. They actually sell them. I was surprised they sold them. No argument, end of the case. Hard for Menard. Yes. But, yeah, Brandon Jones, you're just joining us. Yeah, I would put him at a 90. And then, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, if you're a part-timer, what determines if you go higher over than others? Is it winning? Because SVG's won in the 9 car. He's at a 79. Suarez won in the 9 car. He's an 83. Like, what determines that? I don't understand. Burton at a 77 feels fair. Daniel Dye at a 75 feels fair. This all feels fair. And then we get lower and lower here. I mean, again, these are like the back markers, the Xfinity series. No disrespect to them. Again, no disrespect to them. Just, it's like, I'm not as familiar with, the back of the Xfinity series as I would be for Cup. Although, shout out to Thomas Annunziata. I got to interview him a couple months ago for NASCAR Pole Position Magazine, which, by the way, guys, go check out NASCAR Pole Position Magazine on Daily Downforce website, Daily Downforce shop. We got multiple different types. You got bundles, whether you want 50 greatest drivers, 75 greatest drivers, 56 short tracks, all that stuff. So, little plug there. Check out NASCAR Pole Position Magazine. And again, if I believe it's the September issue, I believe it's the September or August issue, is where you can find my interview with Thomas Annunziata. CB, Taylor Gray, 7-time champ. Moving on. CB, you okay? Like, maybe on NASCAR 25, he's a 7-time champ. Maybe. Yeah, no disrespect to Taylor Gray. Seems like a great guy, but maybe on NASCAR 25? Maybe you talk about that? You're just getting into the theme of the video or the stream? Let's move on to the truck series. Yes, I'm mentally stable. I'm just playing with you, man. I'm just playing with you. All right, truck series. Yeah, again, if anyone's going to be a 100, it's going to be Corey Heim. I'm surprised they did not make Kyle Busch a 99. I know Kyle Busch isn't as good as he used to be, but it's still Kyle Busch, and it's still the truck series. Chastain and a 95 again. Now we're getting to like part-timers and that stuff. Like Larson's a 90, Chastain's a 95. I'm just going to ignore the part-timers. Real talk. Lane Riggs at a 93 honestly feels fair. I'll give him a 93. Probably give him a 95. Probably give him closer to like 95 than 93, but I'll take it. Majeski at a 90. I'd bump him up to like a 95 as well. Again, defending truck champion and all, and he hasn't even been that bad this year. I mean, he technically did once win something this year. Yeah, he did. What did he win? Trucks at Atlanta? I think he won Trucks at Atlanta. Is Taylor Gray the next Jimmy Johnson? The comparison worked out well for Herbst. Herbst should be a 30. Chandler Smith an 89. He should be higher, even though he got bounced in a round of 10, I believe. Daniel Hemrick at an 86. He should be in the 90s. Grant Enfinger should be in the 90s. Ankrum should be high 80s. Ben Roach should be low 90s. Like, this is what I'm talking about. What do we determine? Like, what is going into this stuff? Because, again, Chandler Smith won multiple truck races this year. That's deserving of a 90, in my opinion, at least. Hemrick, top 5 in points all year, should definitely be in the 90s. Enfinger, stable veteran as you can get, consistently in the hunt, winning races, in the hunt for Final Fours. He should be in the 90s. Ankrum at 85. I'll give it to him considering he had like a 6-year span between wins. I'm fine with an 85. Ben Rhodes, he's a 2-time champ. If you want to keep him in the 80s, give him a high 80. Like, give him like an 87, 88, 89. I would personally put him in the low 90s, but I don't even think he made the playoffs this year, so I'll give it to him, but I'd still give him a high 80. Then Giro Ruggiero, Caden Honeycutt, Parker Kligerman. Okay. Now we get to some of the wild stuff. Why is Raja, if you're still here, why are you a 79? Again, Raja Caruth, two-time Truck Series winner. He's behind Brandon Jones, who I don't think has ever won a truck race. Parker again, part-timer. I don't like to, if part-timers are so finicky, I don't like to include them, so I'm just going to ignore Parker. Behind Caden Honeycutt, who's never won a truck race. Behind Giro Ruggiero, who I don't even think made the playoffs this year. Behind William Sawalich, who again, don't think won a truck race, or has even run trucks full-time. Why is Raja 79? Why is Raja 79? Raja, real talk, should probably be 85. 85, 86, I feel good. I think that's where Raja should be. I think he should be mid to high 80s. I don't know if I want to put him 90s per se. You can talk me into it, considering he's made it out of the opening round. Both times he's made the playoffs. So you can talk me into it. I would personally put him in like the high 80s. 79. That's insulting. That is just straight insulting. Connor Mozak, 79. LaJoy, 78. And then you just got a bunch of guys here at the bottom. Crafton, 75. Feel disrespectful, but considering he hasn't won in like 5 years and he really hasn't done anything, I can't really get too mad at that. And then everyone else down here. Frankie Muniz at a 49. Tony Breininger at a 48. And she's in a Tricon garage truck, and look what her rating is. And can you really argue with that? Just saying. Only thing Crafton did was punch someone. Exactly. All right, let's get to ARCA, and then we'll get on out of here. ARCA, I don't know too much about ARCA, so, you guys will probably have to you guys will probably have to educate me a little bit on here. Butterbean at a 99 makes sense. He won the championship. I think he locked it up early as well. So Wallach, I know, is really good in ARCA, so I don't mind that. LeVar Scott, he's been really good, so a 90 overall, that's fair. Wasn't it y'all who's, what was it, Brent Cruz? Where is Brent Cruz? I know he's done a lot of good stuff in ARCA. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Where's Brent Cruz at? Is he even on this list? Hold on. Okay, yeah, here's Cletus. Sheesh. Again, I don't know too much about ARCA. I don't pay attention that much to ARCA, so, for all I know, 56 is good. You guys probably watch more ARCA than I do, so you guys can probably let me know. I know some of y'all, I think it was CB. Wasn't it you who said that, how Cletus is only a 56 and that's terrible? Let's see here. I want to look real quick. I want to give credit. No, it was Dash. Dash is the one who talked about that. Cruz is 17, right? Can he be in it? Can he be? He should still be able to be. Let me see. He would be in the 18 car, I believe. Well, that's the end of the article. Oh, I'm trying to find that for y'all. Timmy Hill is in here. Yeah, he did run some ARCA races. Oh, I guess he's not in here. Okay. That's interesting. All right. Well, again, I don't know too much about the ARCA guys. Again, I don't watch a lot of ARCA, so you guys would have to let me know in terms of the ratings. But, Butterbean looks good. Sawalage looks good. LeVar Scott looks good. Lawless Allen, if he's anything like he's in trucks, he's way too high. Isabella Robusto, I know she's had some good moments. And then everyone else, I'll be honest, I just don't know. I just don't know. So, my overall thoughts on these NASCAR 25 ratings. I guess we'll give each series an overall view. I guess we'll start off here with ARCA. ARCA, I won't give a grade, because again, I don't know too much about ARCA personally. Trucks, I give it a C. I give it a C at best. Again, Heim makes sense. The 90s don't really make sense. The 80s, like 90s need more drivers. Raja in the 70s is criminal. Some guys in this 80s should be down here. I'd give it a C. I would give it a C. Xfinity Series, I don't hate it that much. Xfinity Series, I think, is the best one out of all of them here. I would give the Xfinity Series an A. I'd give it an A. I think the ratings overall, in terms of, like, maybe not exact ratings are the best, but at least guys are in their right spots in the 80s and the 90s. I would give Xfinity an A in terms of the rate, in terms of like a grade for the ratings. And then the Cup Series, I would give Cup, I'll give it a B. Right in the middle. No, I got to give it a C. I got to give Cup a C too, because the fact that Byron, it feels like they just wanted to have a 100 in Cup, which you don't need to. You're not supposed to have a 100 period, but you don't need to. I'll give Cup a C because, again, the fact you have Byron at a 100 overall over guys like Hamlin, Larson, Blaney, Bell, even Elliott, you can argue, I think is criminal. I don't think Byron has any business being 100 overall. Again, I think Byron is like a 97 personally. I would not give him 100. Other than that, I mean, the Bs, I'm not a big fan of the B section as well. There's some I like Bowman, Chastain, but even like I wouldn't put Gibbs that high. I wouldn't put Keselowski or even Buescher that high. Kyle Busch I think is good. I put Cindric maybe a little bit more. 70s I don't hate. I don't love it either. I'd probably bump Jones. Like I said, I'd swap Allmendinger and Jones, put SVG up a little bit more, and that's about it. 60s, Stenhouse has no business being in the 60s. He should be in the 70s at the least. And then everything else is just, it's whatever. So, 2 C's and an A. Very controversial, but as we know with ratings and sports in general, that's how they usually are. That's how they usually are. So, that's all for me. If you guys want to see this for yourself, head over to dailydownforce.com and you can find the article. I believe it's actually one of the feature articles. Yeah, it is right here. Shout out to Coy. Shout out to you, Coy, for this as well. Every NASCAR driver's NASCAR 25 driver rating. And then you can see some of the other news we have here, like Eric Estep. He teased Groovy Hollow 5. Every NASCAR 25 track reveal, good, bad, ugly from NASCAR 25. Of course, the game is just coming out, so you're going to see a lot of NASCAR 25 on here. But that's going to do it for me. Unless you guys got something else you want to talk about. Let's see here. Son of a fish, I was working on a paint scheme during the entire video, and the game crashed and lost. What paint scheme were you working on? What paint scheme were you working on? I'm sorry for your loss, because now you got to go through all that again. But what paint scheme were you working on? B. Yep, you could probably talk me into a B. I'd give it a C. Oh, good. Briscoe beat out KB. That makes me happy. He easily beat out KB. Easily. Before we end, happy birthday to Dale Jr. That is true. Happy birthday to Dale Jr. I got to meet Dale Jr. at Anderson Motor Speedway back in August. Great guy. Great guy. We were able to talk. He endorses my idea of building a racetrack in the Everglades. If you don't know, I live 5 minutes from the Everglades, so I want to build a racetrack in the Everglades whenever I get rich. So, Dale Jr., when I get some money, hit me up once again. Everglades Speedway. Let's make it happen. Raise Hale, praise Dale. Gordon Rainbow Warrior throwback. Oh, that's good. On a next-gen car. If you center the numbers, if they allow you to do that, that's going to look fire. Oof. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. That's all I have today. Again, this was going to be an iRacing stream, but kind of is NASCAR 25, iRacing. Kind of, sort of, not really. Where do we go next? We go to Talladega next week. I'll probably do a plate race sometime next week. You can center the numbers. Yes. And actually, tell you what. Tag the Daily Downforce. Brian, if you're watching, if you don't know Brian, social media guy, tag the Daily Downforce and say that you were on tonight's stream. Post it on Twitter. Tag the Daily Downforce. Say you're on tonight's stream and make your post, and then we'll see if we can retweet it. We'll see if we can repost it, show everyone else. Let's try to do that. Let's try to do that. I want to do something like that. So we'll do that. And send it to me as well, and I could try to feature it on Sunday's episode of The Cut Line. Send that to me as well. You can send it to me. You could DM me on Twitter. It's at Armani DePaul. Literally, you see on the top there where it says no cautions given. My name spelled just like that. You can DM that to me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. And I'll try to post that on The Cut Line. Try to post it on The Cut Line. But that's going to do it for me for this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, just kind of a, random stream, getting everyone together. And that's going to do it for me, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much. We will be back on Sunday for The Cut Line. And I will be doing another one next week for Talladega, because it's Talladega. It's the big one. There will more than definitely be a big one to react to. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you in the next one. Or I guess we'll see you Sunday. Have a good one. And because I really don't have any other cuts, I'm going to cut to the thanks for watching part for The Cut Line.